Hello folks, just to let you know, we also create strategic websites for clients worldwide. So if you or anyone you know needs a new or redesigned website, please visit us at creativethunder.co and get in touch. By doing so, you'll help us to continue to develop more videos like the one you're about to watch.
Hello folks, it is Saturday the 27th of August 2016, and I just want to show you how horrendously whited out everything is. We're actually living on the downs right now, downs that we know like the backs of our hands. We used to walk this landscape often every day, sometimes twice a day, because we lived in the town, and we used to be able to see the downs in various directions so clearly, so vividly green, so clear, even just 4 or 5 years ago. And now it's as if there's been a fumigator truck who has come in and somehow fumigated the entirety of the southeast of England. The whole South Downs are completely whited out. You know, again, this is a landscape that we know like the back of our hands, in all seasons, all weather conditions. And unfortunately, iPhones pump up the saturation, so you're going to be seeing something that is much deeper, much richer in color than what we are seeing here standing on the porch as we're making this video. Everything is preposterously whited out. It reminds me of when I was a kid living in Massachusetts in the late 1960s, early 1970s, when the fumigator trucks would come through and were purportedly spraying for mosquitoes, and they would just come through and there would be a white cloud around this truck, a bit like Pigpen from the Peanuts cartoons, and the neighborhood would be left with this horrendously, no doubt incredibly dangerous fumigation cloud of chemicals that we were all breathing. But this is covering all of the South Downs. We know it's all throughout England. We've been living and traveling to 20 plus countries over the past 4 years, so we know firsthand that this is the way it is throughout Europe. But this is horrendous when you know a landscape as well as we know this. And it is so whited out. We are living on the downs, and it is so whited out from such a short distance. And you know, the psychological hoops that people are having to jump through in order to not notice the the elephant in the room. And as I was saying just a moment ago, it's not only an elephant in the room, but it's as if we're having to, this elephant is so large that we're trying to ignore, that we're having to squeeze past it and sidle up to the walls to try to get past it in order to make our way from one room to another. And it's the same thing with this psychologically, you know, that people are having to jump through some sort of hoops psychologically to avoid noticing the unavoidable, and to avoid talking with their families and their loved ones and their neighbors and their colleagues about, you know, what is so glaringly obviously, glaring, that's the perfect word, because there is no proper sunlight, there's no proper golden yellow sunlight, it's just a glare. It's horrendous. I'll show you the sky. It's just going to show up as a pale blue, filled with aerosols. But what's unbelievable is that how obvious it is that we're living in this cloud of toxic heavy metal aerosols and nanoparticulates. And because they are nanoparticulates, they cross the blood-brain barrier. So when you breathe them in, it goes right into your brain. And we know the incredibly toxic effects of aluminum, barium, and strontium, and those are some of the chemicals that are put into these aerosols. And there are no safe levels of human consumption for any of those. And yet we're breathing them 24/7, folks. We're living in the aerosols. It's not a question of chemtrails and them spraying them somewhere in the sky, somehow diminishing the light. You know, all that's true. It's absolutely true. It's minimizing our vitamin D intake, which is crucial for our immune systems to function properly, we need proper amounts of vitamin D, but this goes well beyond this. We're living in the aerosols. They're not up there, they're down here. And this is just a really clear way of showing the obvious. You know, that hill up there, we can walk up that in 15 minutes. But you can see it, it's in the valley. It's even at a lower altitude than what I'm at right now. We're just living in this. Every breath we take, whether we're inside or outside, all the air is coming from without. And you know, we're just breathing these aerosols 24/7, but nobody even cares about it. Apparently, people are so devoid, so divorced from their everyday experience, the truth of their own experience, that they don't even care about this. It's utterly unbelievable to Mufida and me. And I think a big part of that is the fact that we don't watch television. We've not watched it for many, many years. I've not watched it for decades, except on the odd occasion when I'm forced to, out of some semblance of politeness, if I'm at somebody else's house or something like that. And so people have clearly been programmed to accept this as the normal, where we are seeing straight through it. We're seeing the thing itself. It's really the other people who are seeing straight through it and not even noticing that it's there. Anyways, that's it for now, folks. Until next time.